Oscar Valdez is Eddie Reynoso's hat trick, and we haven't even gotten out of February yet, knuckleheads. Listen, I needed to make this video after Oscar Valdez's virtuoso performance because for the last 2 or 3 months, we have seen an extraordinary common denominator in incredible boxing performances. And that common denominator is none other than the 44-year-old genius from Guadalajara, Mexico, Eddy Reynoso, also known as the trainer of Canelo Alvarez. In December, we saw what he did to Callum Smith. Ryan Garcia, we saw what he did in his step up against Luke Campbell. And now, knuckleheads, in the 3rd consecutive month, he takes Oscar Valdez to the mountaintop against a guy that everybody thought he would lose to, and just has polished him to a point where, this guy looks like he could very well beat anybody at 130 pounds. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. Of course, it's still a competitive division, and there are guys out there that may give him a great fight. But look, my point is, the common denominator here, the one that these guys owe thanks to, is Eddy Reynoso, especially in the case of Oscar Valdez, who basically changed styles since leaving a great friend of ours and Manny Robles a few fights ago. Changed styles, mid-career. And Eddy Reynoso was able to work the kinks out of that style change and get it to the point where he was so good at his new style that he utterly destroyed Miguel Berchelt in that fight on Saturday night. Now, I've heard a couple people say, well, Miguel Berchelt had COVID and, that may have compromised his lungs and this and that. Look, if this guy wasn't ready for this fight, he wouldn't have taken this fight, I don't believe. Okay? And instead of looking for excuses and reasons why you didn't pick the right guy to win, let's give credit where credit is due. Oscar Valdez fought a brand new strategy for him and fought a brilliant fight against a technically limited Berchelt. And he knew that Berchelt was limited, and he knew that because he may have one of the best coaches in boxing in Eddy Reynoso, a guy who added enough wrinkles to his game now to where Valdez is a real problem. He's a real problem. And listen, there were kinks to work out. When Valdez first moved to 130 pounds, he got floored in his first fight, trying to be more defensive and trying to use more head movement than he normally does. And while there were some growing pains in this new style, look what it's flourished into. That performance against Berchelt, knuckleheads, I know I keep repeating myself here, but that is an absolutely brilliant performance. And at the beginning of this video, I said he's his hat trick, and we haven't even gotten out of February. And what I mean is Canelo Alvarez fights next week against Avni Yildirim in a fight that I think all of us believe Canelo is just going to absolutely shine in. And look, he's done it with Canelo, who's now the pound-for-pound #1 in the sport. That's my opinion, and, if you don't think that, you're definitely in the minority at this point. Look what he did for Ryan Garcia, a kid who went in there against Luke Campbell, who went 12 rounds and hurt Vasil Lomachenko. Ryan Garcia, the social media fighter, blasted him out of there with a body shot in ridiculous fashion. And we saw some growing pains in that fight as well. But he got the job done. He's still a baby. And now you got Oscar Valdez, the third guy that was also taking a step up, you could say, like Ryan Garcia. But he was going in there against someone who was favored to beat him. Ryan Garcia was favored to beat Luke Campbell, even though those in the know were highly doubtful about that fight, knew that fight could have gone either way. Valdez went in there against a Berchelt that was supposed to beat him, right? So Eddie Reynoso's not just taking his guys to the mountaintop when he's supposed to. He's slogging them through the snow and the blizzards and everything because he wasn't supposed to win that fight last night. And it makes you wonder, now that Andy Ruiz is with Eddy Reynoso, and we've seen him slim down so much, is he going to have the same success with Andy Ruiz as he's had with Oscar Valdez, as he's having with Ryan Garcia, as he's having with Canelo Alvarez, the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world? Knuckleheads, I don't know what will become of Andy Ruiz, and I don't know if we've seen the best of Oscar Valdez yet. I certainly don't think we've seen the best of Ryan Garcia yet. I think these guys are going to continue to improve. But I will say this. Whatever Eddy Reynoso is doing in that camp, whatever he's doing, you must put respect on the 44-year-old from Guadalajara's name, because it's not every team in boxing that's bringing that kind of result to its fighters. I mean, just absolutely incredible. And you know, listen, I don't know Eddy Reynoso. I'm good friends with Manny Robles. Before the fight, I said to myself, I wish Oscar Valdez would have stayed with Manny Robles. I wish Andy Ruiz would have stayed with Manny Robles. Manny Robles made both of those guys champions. He's a good friend of this show. But Eddy Reynoso, you know, like in any sport, you seek out a coach sometimes to help you in certain areas, to do different things for you, to get a different look, just to switch things up. And Eddy Reynoso, in my opinion, looks to have helped Oscar Valdez. You know, he really does look to have helped Oscar Valdez. Can he do the same with Andy Ruiz? It remains to be seen. That being said, man, just incredible work we're seeing from Eddy Reynoso. Genius level stuff. And I really look forward to seeing what Canelo Alvarez does next week and what he can do with Andy Ruiz. Another thing I want to say is, you know, again, I admit I was wrong. I was of the same camp as Timothy Bradley. I thought Oscar Valdez, I thought his DNA was that of an aggressive fighter, not a boxer. I thought it was too late to change his style. Eddy Reynoso proved us wrong. Oscar Valdez proved us wrong. You know, so you can teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach a boxer new moves. You know, people can learn up until they retire. They can continue to learn, and that's an important lesson I'm getting out of this. And one more thing, I gotta give myself some kind of credit, even though I was wrong as hell. I said in my prediction that I felt, and I don't know if I said it in these exact words, but that I felt that Oscar Valdez had a really good chance of winning the fight, even though I picked Berchelt. And I said it depended on how far along he had gotten with this new style. And I said, you know, one of the benefits for him is he's with Team Canelo. Because you know you're not going in there with Team Canelo and messing around. You are not messing around in that guy's gym. That guy's a consummate professional. Him and Eddy Reynoso are obviously consummate professionals. So that's what I wanted to give myself credit for, even though I got the prediction wrong. Tell me what you guys think about Eddy Reynoso, who was 2019 Trainer of the Year. I believe he's probably going to have to be considered 2021 Trainer of the Year after these, you know, couple of results he's already had. Tell me what you think about Eddy Reynoso below. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell notification icon next to it. Be sure to subscribe and join the channel for just $5 a month. You can help me grow this channel and the promotion. With that $5, which is just 16 cents a day, you get discounts to FightersRep merchandise, which also helps us grow the promotion, access to our pay-per-views, and you get to participate in our members-only meetings at the beginning of each month. Knuckleheads, I really look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this one.